I didn't argue with her. That was the part that surprised her most. "Don't even think about showing up to the wedding," my mom said, her voice sharp in a way that suggested this wasn't up for discussion. "You'll ruin the photos. Rachel deserves better in her background." There was a pause after that, the kind where she expected something back. Defense, maybe hurt, maybe a question she could shut down. I just said, "Okay." Silence stretched on her end, thinner now. "Okay," she repeated. "Yeah." I didn't add anything else. There wasn't anything to negotiate. After we hung up, I sat with it for a while. Not the words themselves. They were consistent with things I'd heard before, just more direct this time. It was the clarity of it, no pretense. No softening. Just a position, stated plainly. I opened my banking app. The Honeymoon fund transfer took less than a minute. It had been sitting there under my name, waiting to be finalized. I had contributed quietly like I always did, without attaching it to recognition. This time, I reversed it. I sent her a screenshot. No message. A few minutes later, the typing bubble appeared, disappeared, then came back. "What is this?" I didn't respond. More messages followed. Questions first, then frustration, then something closer to disbelief. "You can't just do that. Everything's already planned." I set my phone face down and let it play out, because for once, I wasn't reacting in real time. The venue had been booked months ago. They talked about it constantly. The space, the views, the exclusivity. My sister had described it as, finally something that feels elevated. I had nodded when she said that, not correcting her, not adding anything. Just listening. The paperwork had been signed under a company name I'd been building quietly for years. Small acquisitions at first, then larger ones. Nothing flashy, nothing that would draw attention in the way my family measured success. The venue was just another step. They never asked who owned it, and I never volunteered. As the wedding approached, the messages shifted tone, less accusatory. More strained. My mom called again. "We need to talk about the transfer," she said, trying to keep her voice even. "This isn't the time to make things difficult." I leaned back in my chair, watching the late afternoon light move across the floor. "I'm not making anything difficult," I said. "I'm just not contributing anymore." A pause. "That's not how this works." It was the same phrase, just in a different context. I didn't challenge it. "I understand," I said. She exhaled sharply, like she was deciding how far to push. "Rachel is already stressed," she added. "This is her day." I nodded, even though she couldn't see it. "I know." We ended the call without resolution. The day of the wedding, I didn't go. I didn't hover nearby, didn't check updates, didn't wait for something to happen. I let the day move without me. Around midday, I got a call from the venue manager. His tone was professional, but there was a slight hesitation under it. "There's been a request from the booking party," he said, "regarding some adjustments to the setup and extended access to certain areas." I knew what that meant. "They're asking for exceptions to the contract terms," he clarified. I closed my eyes briefly, not out of stress, just to center the moment. "And what did you tell them?" "That we would need approval from ownership." There it was, clear, unavoidable. I let a few seconds pass. "Follow the contract," I said. "No changes." "Understood." He didn't ask anything else. Later, I heard about how the conversation went on their side. Not dramatic, not explosive. Just confusing rhetorics denied without room for negotiation. Timelines enforced. Spaces restricted exactly as outlined. Things they assumed were flexible suddenly weren't. And there wasn't anyone to persuade. By evening, my phone had several missed calls. Voicemails, too. My mom's voice sounded different now. Less certain. "We didn't realize." She started, then stopped. "You should have told us." I listened to it once, then set the phone down, because that wasn't quite right. They could have known. They just never asked questions that didn't center themselves. I didn't call back. The next day, photos started appearing online. Carefully framed. cropped just enough to look complete. I noticed how much space was managed, what was included, what wasn't. It all looked controlled, appropriate. I closed the app. There wasn't a sense of satisfaction, just a quiet alignment. For the first time, nothing about the situation required me to explain my place in it. It had already been defined, not by what I said, but by what I chose not to change.